To start the new video, we come to Rugeley near Walsall to visit Mr. and Mrs. Lycett and son.
Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Ken. How long have you been in the sport?
Very close on 50 years.
Yeah, what's the circumstances of starting up?
I started when I was a boy at school, and obviously you start at that time with a couple of strays, and by the time before I left school, I was racing pigeons in the local club, which was Breitland District. I had two brothers who raced with us. Unfortunately, my dad, who used to race with us, he passed away about 10 or 12 years ago, but that's the partnership now. It still goes under my dad's name as C. Lycett and Sons, and we've had our successes.
Yeah, it's two lofts actually. You race with your brothers and also with your wife.
That's right, yes.
So what's the best loft?
Well, basically, this is a new loft and with new pigeons, and it's a very good sprint loft.
Yeah.
And also middle distance.
That's with your wife Cath?
Yes.
And your son Mike?
Michael, yes. Yeah, it's a very good loft, this one.
Right, this is a 1991 pencil cock. He was very exceptional on the road. He took 7 firsts, racing in the Worcester Fed, anything up to 10,000 pigeons. He's been in the top 10 of the Fed 12 times, every occasion being at least 6,000 birds. He's not raced for the last 18 months where we've just been breeding from him, and he's now developed into our best stock pigeon.
What family is he, Mike?
He's a Van den Bosch. He's a direct son of our number 1 stock hen, which we call Frilly, who was a daughter of Wanley Monarch, which is obviously George Litherland blood. And he's always been raced on widowhood, so we never really took any youngsters off him until the last 2 years.
Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Keith. Welcome to Rugeley. Here we are in front of our lofts.
What's your main performances?
Main performances, well, we tend to specialise, particularly inland. Best performances, we've topped the Fed against 9,800 birds, 9,500 birds, 7 times in excess of 7,000 birds. But more recently in the Moorlands Fed, there's only been 2,000 or 3,000 birds going, so that's all we can beat.
Yeah, it's brilliant flying, mate, absolutely brilliant. So you prefer the sprint racing?
Yeah, I don't really have any patience for the water.
No, what system do you race?
Completely widowwood.
Yeah,
I believe that once a widowwood cock's right, he won't be beaten.
Yeah, so it's just cocks you race?
Just cocks.
How many do you race?
Last season we had 9, but we had an exceptional young bird season this last season, and 85% of them were cocks. So at the moment we're going forward into 1998 with 20.
Yeah, still a small team comparison with some people.
Yeah, particularly in this area. There are teams a lot stronger than that, but it's quality per pigeon, not quantity.
Yeah. When do you pair your cocks up?
The pen behind me were paired up on the 4th of February, and we've got another section just over on the left which was paired up on the 24th of February.
So you like 2 teams?
Yeah, we try to stagger the form if we can.
Yeah. How about feeding them? What do you feed?
Feeding is the traditional method really. They're broken down after they come back from the race. Building them up either Monday night or Tuesday, depending on the weather. If it's warm, obviously, we leave them until the Tuesday.
Yeah.
If they've had a particularly stressful race on the Monday, then we may increase it a bit sooner.
Yeah. Do you show your hens before they go?
Not always. We play a number of motivational tricks. We never do the same thing twice, really.
No. How about when they come back from the race? To get the hen in?
No, not always. It all depends, particularly if it's an experienced cock. The yearlings, yes, we tend to show them regardless of how they fly, but if they're an experienced cock that's not performing, then no, that's his punishment.
Yeah. How do you put them out, actually put them on the widowwood system in? Do they have a baby? And
after they're paired up, once the youngsters are about 15, 16 days old, then we take the hens away and the cocks are left to finish their youngsters, because we don't want the cocks driving the hens down for a second time, because once they start to sit the second round of eggs, that speeds up the molt. It's also a waste of energy for him.
Yeah. How about training?
Training is done as and when necessary, really. At the moment, the first race is a week away and we haven't trained at all yet. As and when, we'll train a few times before the first race, but Sometimes we can go months, sometimes we do it quite regularly.
Yeah, you don't train once they're racing.
If we think they need, if they need it, yes, by all means. You know, if they're showing signs that they're not performing, then we'll train.
Just fly them out around the loft.
Yeah. Although particularly some weeks go by when we don't have them out if the weather isn't to our liking.
Yeah. This is the scene inside one of the widowwood sections. This contains 11 cocks, and these were paired up on the 4th of February. They start racing very soon.
Okay, this is a 1992 dark cock. He has won every year of his racing life, 6 consecutive years. He's particularly good at the early part of the season. He won the first race on 4 different occasions. He's also bred fed winners for us now. He'll win from anything from 1,000 yards a minute to 2,300 yards a minute.
Yeah, and he's also a widow cock, as you say. What fam is he?
He's a Moorman Jansen van den Bosch. He was crossed with the Moorman van den Bosch.
Yeah, he's a
cock.
beautiful pigeon, absolutely beautiful. And he's topped the fed himself.
He never topped the fed himself. He came as close as he ever will do. He got beat on a second decimal. But his children are topping the fed. And he's got 7 sons in the race team.
You've got a wonderful setup here, Mike.
Yeah, the loft at the bottom is a 10 by 8 loft which has got 11 widowwood cocks in for the 1998 season. They trap through the open doors. Moving around onto the main loft, as we call it, that's 22 foot by 9 foot. It's split 8, 6, 8. The 2 sections with the wide doors are for the youngsters. They've got 14 foot between them. There's 120 perches in there, but we would never put more than 40 youngsters in there. Moving up the garden is another 8 foot by 9 foot loft. Widowwood cocks in there again. They go through the open door as well. There's 10 cocks in there for the 1998 season. And moving up to the loft at the top of the garden with the high roof. That's where our retired racers are, who now we just breed from. And they have an aviary which we can put on if there's any prisoners, but we haven't got any at the moment, so they just fly out.
What family of pigeons you keep there, Mike?
Well, about 85% of the lofts are Van den Bosch, which originate from George Litherland. We introduced them in 1988. The only other pigeons that we contain really are Jansen crosses from a variety of sources, because we find that the Jansens cross particularly well with the Van den Bosch. So we got some from Herman Beaverdam. There's a very good Andre Dierich cock up there, from Jansen as well. I think that's about it really.
How many stock birds you keep?
Well, they're just the retired races. We've got no stock birds as such. There's 8 cocks and obviously 8 hens up there at the moment.
Yeah, when do you pair them up?
They're paired up traditionally around Valentine's Day, but this year we paired early. We paired between Boxing Day and New Year's Day this year.
That's the beauty of having retired races. They can fly out, can't they?
Well, that's right. Because they fly out, we've been able to keep them in much better condition. So they came down quite well.
Yeah. What'd you feed them?
Well, at this time of the year, they're on the breeding mix. Obviously, at the back end, they're on a very weak mixture, just to get them through the moult, and then on to widowwood.
This is a scene inside the partners' young bird section, which contains 1 or 2 really nice early youngsters. How many young birds you breed each season then, Mark?
No more than 40, even though they're in a 14-foot pen.
Yeah, do you like racing young birds?
I love it.
Yeah, you do well.
The last few years particularly well, yeah. We've been in the top 3 of the Fed on 9 of the last 17 races.
Yeah, incredible performance.
So, yeah, they've been doing well.
Yeah, what do you feed them?
They're fed on a traditional young bird mix, that's all.
How about training?
Training, they go weather permitting every day. Not particularly far, no more than 20 miles, but we feel it's important to keep them going every day.
Yeah. Do you race the programme with them?
Always. Yeah, because we can't take too many cocks forward because we're limited for room. Everyone has to earn his perch.
Do you actually try and race hens more because like a widowed system?
No. Everything has to earn its perch. They're all treated the same in that respect.
It's a nice pigeon. What's this one?
Yeah, this is a 1995 pencil-pied Van den Bosch cock. He had one race as a babby and then we stopped him. In 1996, he was second fed beaten on a decimal, second fed beaten on a decimal again. He won an open race with 47 members by a couple of minutes. 1997, he topped the fed again. And when he's right, he takes a bit of beating.
Yeah, nice cock, mate. Do you show him his hen when he goes to a race?
Always varies. We never did the same thing twice.
Yeah, a bit of variation, it's a good thing.
And anything that winds him up.
Good morning, Cath.
Morning, Keith.
You're secretary of the Midlands National Flying Club, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
That's some job that is, loving it.
Oh yeah, but I enjoy it.
How long have you been doing that?
This is the 6th season. I was elected as secretary in '93.
Yeah.
So this is the 6th season.
Some job, love.
Yeah.
How many members is there?
Well, it's grown a lot now. It was something like 1,800 in '93. Now we've just broken through the 3,000 barrier.
Yeah, beautiful.
3,045 or something like
What's the
that.
programme they fly?
Good programme, I think. The Ferté Bernard is your first one. May. June, then we've got Nantes. July is Bergerac. August is Thorness on the Isle of Wight, which basically a sprint, I suppose. And then Pickerville in September.
Yeah, what's Pickerville? That's a young bird. Is
That's the young bird. The last
just
two are
one?
young birds, yes.
Yeah.
3 old bird, 2 young bird.
Yeah, it's incredible. And what's the actual area of the club?
Well, we go on latitude, which southern goes through from coast to coast, across through Buckinghamshire on the south, and in the north we go across from east to west through Cumbria.
Yeah.
So it's quite a big
area.
quite
Yeah.
a big area now.
So they call it Midlands National Flying Club, but it takes in the north as well, almost.
It's gone. Yes, we've had two alterations to the northern boundary in my time. It's just the fact it's getting popular, and we've got people on the south now saying, well, we're just about 3 or 4 miles outside of the radius, can't you open it, you know?
Yeah, so you're going to keep opening it.
It's very difficult, you see, it's very difficult.
How many sections is there?
4.
Yeah.
4. Which is, I think, very fair.
Yeah. Well done, love. Keep up the good work. This is a scene inside the other widowed section, and these cocks are still paired up and feeding their babies. Well, thanks very much for having me around today. It's been a great pleasure. Your pigeons are a credit to you.
It's no problem. Thank you very much, Keith.